Hey there, garden friends, and welcome back to my channel, Our Country-ish Acre. Today it's supposed to be in the 80s, which is quite unseasonably warm for us here in western Pennsylvania. But because the high tomorrow is only 50 and it's supposed to be kind of rainy, and it's just overall not a good garden weather working day, I'm going to try and get as much done today as I possibly can. It's currently my daughter's nap time, so I've got a couple hours to kind of putter around and get things done. And I thought, what better way than to just take you guys along with me, and we'll see what we're going to get up to today. I did stop this morning at Home Depot, and they had a shrub that I have been eyeballing, and I've been wanting one for a while. It is called a standing ovation serviceberry. It gets very, I think it's 15 feet tall at maturity, and it only gets 4 feet wide, which is perfect for the space that I have in mind for it. If you know anything about serviceberries, typically the most popular variety, I think, is called Autumn Brilliance, and it just gets to be like a big massive tree. So this cultivar is actually a little bit on the smaller, more compact size. So I'm really excited about that and about the place that I have in mind for it. While I was at Home Depot too, I also picked up some tomato cages, and we're going to do something fun with them. So you have probably seen that you don't really want to use the tomato cages that you can typically find at stores, just because they're kind of flimsy and they really aren't going to support the weight of the tomato, especially if you have an indeterminate variety. They kind of grow up and tumble over, and they don't really provide much support for them. So I have a different use for them, so it's still worthwhile, but I will show that to you as well. And then the last little thing is I just wanted to kind of show you some spots in the garden where things are looking really pretty and nice and spring-like, and just some projects and plans that I have, that I want to get to. So let's get to it. So this is the standing ovation serviceberry that I was talking about, and it gets these white, this is kind of getting past its prime, but it gets like these clusters of white flowers. And then these actually turn into berries that are edible, so that's kind of cool. But here's a little tag on it. And this is a first editions plant. So 15 feet tall, about 4 foot wide at maturity, full sun, hardiness 2 through 8. So this is going to do perfect in my zone. We are zone 6, 6A. But let me grab a shovel and then I'll show you kind of where we're going to put this guy. So this is the area down by our retaining wall, and our basement door is right over that way. This is where I want to plant that serviceberry. I think that would look great and just really fill in the space there. Over here we have limelight hydrangeas planted, and then I have a dogwood tree there, not a tree, dogwood shrub there. But as you can see right now, I have this trellis, and then this is an Abraham Darby rose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant that rose to over on this side, and then we're going to plant the standing ovation serviceberry back in that corner. And I'm not concerned about the roots being planted very close to the house because they are not aggressive or extremely water seeking. So those are going to be, it's going to be fine planted there. And then this area right here, I haven't really quite figured out what exactly I want to do with it. I've just kind of been tucking random things in there. I actually had a peony that I just threw in there last fall. I do not remember at all which variety that is, so that's going to be a fun little surprise. And then I've got we get really bad bindweed here, so I'm going to have to go in there and clean all that up. I've got just an allium, I believe that's millennium allium. There's a sedum, and then over here there are kismet raspberry, I believe, echinacea, same type of sedum, and then I think there might be another allium tucked in there somewhere. But regardless, this area just doesn't always look the best, so I am going to work on that this year. And we're going to start by digging out the rows and then putting in that serviceberry. I did have some questions on Instagram about how my new garden bed is looking, so I thought I would take you guys over here and show you. I transplanted some lamb's ear a couple weekends ago from this garden bed. If you can see, there's some there and some back there. It just grows and grows and grows and grows. It really likes the spot, so I have lots to divide. But right here is a strawberry Sunday hydrangea that I actually moved from where the rose I just planted. It was planted in that area. So he now has a new spot. I planted some baptisia that was also in the other septic bed. I didn't really like the spot that it was in, so I figured while he's still young, he's only 2 years old. I planted him last year. I thought now would be a good time to transplant him and let him be in a more permanent spot. Baptisias grow a super, super, super long taproot, so it gets progressively difficult to move them the older they get. So if you can pick a forever spot for them and plant them, that's perfect for them. And then over here, we've got my red bud, who he is starting to leaf out. And they have these gorgeous heart-shaped leaves. And it's like this beautiful glossy green color. How sweet is that? But he's pushing lots of new growth. It's really healthy. Super pleased. So how I did this is I do not remove sod in my garden generally, other than just edging it out. So what I did was put down cardboard underneath where the soil is now, and then I put the soil directly on top of it, and it's about 2 to 3 inches of soil on top of the cardboard. The cardboard will eventually break down, and then I'll just have nice soil on top. There are some spots where I wasn't super diligent about the cardboard, and you can see the grass is peeking up there, but I'll just have to go in and remove that by hand, which isn't a big deal. But yeah, this space is really starting to turn out. My Strawberry Hill Rose should be arriving in the mail at any second now, and then I'll get him planted and we'll get him started to grow up on the trellis. All right, but let's go see a couple other spots in my yard that I think are particularly pretty right now. So this area is right off our deck. I would say the daffodils that I had planted in here were just at their peak a couple days ago, so we're starting to wind down. But the hornbeams, the hedge behind that, has pushed out all this new growth this week. It's very filled out now, looks great. And then I don't have anything planted where those 2 stakes are, but they are marking the spot where I am going to be planting 2 new rose bushes. I already have a David Austin Eustacia Vi planted up top there. And then in these 2, I'm going to add a Coco Loco and then a Distant Drums rose. And everything that's going to be planted in this bed is going to be reminiscent of like coffee coloring. So it's going to be neutrally creamy, light blush pink, kind of everything like in that very neutral category. I might do pops of purple in there too, if I'm being honest, because I like a lot of purple around my garden. And then over here, my clematis is really starting to take off. I forget which variety that is. I do know it's a purple one, but it blooms nicely. And then in here, I have the alnwick rose, along with some allium foliage. And then that kind of takes you up to this part of the garden. These 2 beds that are flanking the entrance of the vegetable patch have really started to push off a lot of new growth just with the nice weather we've been having. Everything is really greening up. I've been harvesting a lot from the daffodils that are in here, so there's not too many blooms left anymore. But over there we have, I believe it's Incredible, just the white hydrangea there. And then we have a lemon candy 9-bark. The peonies are looking great. And then I have sweet peas planted on each side of this trellis to hopefully grow out. And then this side is very similar to the other side with peonies. There's a rose, iris, daffodils. There's some echinacea in there too, I believe. But this bed and this bed got a nice layer of compost last week. I would like to be able to put compost on the rest of my beds, but we are just running out of weekend time with everything that needs to get done. So I might end up taking a day off of work and just chipping away at it. We'll see. And then speaking of peonies, you probably have seen these tomato cages at the store. Now, you don't want to use these to actually stake your tomatoes. They're super flimsy. They're not going to support them in a great way, and especially the tomatoes are just going to spill out over this quickly. But if you take a bolt cutter and you cut right like that, you now have a super cheap and cost-effective support for your peonies or any other plants that might need a little bit of help to stay upright. So I'm going to be using these for my peonies. They are a little bit on the smaller side, just with supports. However, if you've priced out peony cages of any type, you know how expensive they get very quickly just to buy one. So this might not be the most ideal option for support, but I can get 3 supports out of a $5 tomato cage, which is pretty impressive and fits my garden budget. So we're gonna make do with it and see how it goes. So that is it for today's garden video. I thank you guys for joining me. I hope I gave you a little bit of inspiration for your own garden. I'd love to hear about what you're working on in your space, whether you're adding new plants or working on an existing bed. Feel free to tell me in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Until next time.